Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Intersim Esports Network for your Friday night. A little bit overdue tonight with what we're usual to do here on the Intersim Esports Network. We're here for the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series. Better late than never, and we're here from the Autoclub Speedway for the next round. We're into qualifying at the moment, 3 minutes down out of the 5-minute qualifying session. My name's Aidan Schultz. Joining me in the booth, as always, is Paul Jackson. Good evening to you, Paul.
Good evening, Aidan, and apologies to everyone. Yeah, a little bit of iRacing mess up there tonight with the server, so had to get that one sorted. The admin's doing a good job to get the server up so everyone can have a race tonight.
Yeah, they got that one sorted. A little bit of a smaller field tonight than what we're used to here for the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series, but that does not mean we are going to be short of action. So we'll just keep you up to date at the moment as they're 3 minutes 46 seconds through their qualifying session at where they are in this qualifying session at the moment. So it is currently Joshua Carroll-Walden at the top with a 41.57. Norman Clark, his teammate, there in second place with a 41.58. Jamie Nankervis in third place with a 41.60. Adam Malone fourth with a 41.62. Darren McKenzie rounding out your five with a 41.66 as Sam Katakuznos just jumps to the top with a 41.57. So it's actually a 41.66, 566, so just a little bit ahead of Joshua Carroll-Walden. We'll see whether he can better that on his second lap this time around. So looking forward to a good night of racing, Paul. It is going to be a quite long night in the office here for us. It will be a late one, as this is about 45 minutes later than what we're used to going live here for the Intersim Esports Network, but it's still going to be chock-a-block full of action as we have become known to expect here for the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series.
Yeah, definitely. Always action-packed and eventful racing, and I'm sure the guys will put on a good show for us again tonight.
Hopefully they will, but that's the qualifying session done and dusted, and we'll bring up your starting grid for the next round of the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series from Autoclub Speedway. It was a very quick session. They only had a 10-minute warm-up session, then straight into qualifying. So off the pole will be Sam Katakuznos from Team Bushfig Racing. On the outside of that front row will be Joshua Carroll-Walden. Norman Clark will start out of P3, Jamie Nankervis out of P4. Adam Malone will start out of the 5th position, with Dave Oliver out of 6. Darren McKenzie out of 7. Maxie Marshall out of 8. Nigel Payton will start out of 9th. Glenn Klein out of 10th. Brian Bullock out of 11th. And Tom Pritchard out of the 12th position. Out of the 13th position will be Andy Barber. 14th will be Brett Campbell. Brad Fenley out of 15th. Michael Shaw out of 16th. Raymond Yeager out of 17th. And Greg Spencer out of 18th. We did miss Brian Bullock, etc. So we do apologise about that one. So Greg Spencer will round out the 18-car field here tonight for the next round of the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series. We do have a lot of trivia ready for you tonight, ladies and gentlemen, for a Friday night. It is quite a long way around the Autoclub Speedway. Not a very big field tonight. It will be action-packed with all the battles at the front of this one, but we've got some nice trivia here for you guys to keep you interested while we bring you all the action to the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series. Steve Hoppett joining into the chat saying, hi guys, good evening to you too, Steve Hoppett. Thanks for tuning in. Like to see you out there on track. Unfortunate not to see you there tonight, but good to see you tuning in here on the broadcast. So who's it going to be, Paul? Norman Clark leading the championship coming into this one. Joshua Carroll-Walden always quick. We don't see Josh Mickelmore in there tonight, who had a good solid run last week out, who was on a fuel save and just missed out on the podium there. But Joshua Carroll-Walden off the front row. Sam Katakuznos, he's always quick, so don't be surprised if we see Sam Katakuznos come up with a nice solid result tonight. But Norman Clark will be looking for a good result. Smaller field tonight. He can get a good result. That'll go a long way for him and his championship.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely some guys that are behind them though in the mix of the things. Jamie Nankervis here in 4th. He'll be looking for a strong run tonight as well. Adam Malone, Darren McKenzie there in 5th and 6th as well. Matt Padden we've seen show a lot of pace as well in the past. Yeah, it's definitely anyone's race tonight, I think. Got Raymond Yeager as well on the back row there with Greg Spencer, so Pinnacle Esports cars there. They can get the job done too, so it'll be interesting to see what everyone's strategy is around Auto Club tonight.
Yeah, definitely will be. Might be a little bit of a smaller field, as I've said, but it's definitely got a lot of quality within the field. So it's going to be a great race and good to bring all the action here on the InterSim Esports Network and see how it all plays out. But it will be the 968 Bushfink Racing entry of Sam Katakuzanos bringing us to the pole. Joshua Carroll-Walden on the outside. Sam Katakuzanos taking the jump nice and early. He's gone really early there. Usually it's meant to be on the green, but he is gone. So Sam Katakuzanos will lead the way into turn number 1 for the first time tonight. Norman Clark's got the jump on his teammate Joshua Carroll-Walden there in 2nd place. So he'll take 2nd place onto the back straight for the first time tonight. So it's Sam Katakuzanos, Norman Clark, Joshua Carroll-Walden, Jamie Nankervis there in 4th place. Dave Oliver just getting around the outside of Adam Malone early in this one to get the 5th place. Adam Malone will sit back there into 6th. So we can see Dave Oliver already going high early in this one, looking at saving those front right tyres. So he's not looking to come down low early in this one. So Dave Oliver already thinking long run here, 2 laps into 134. We can see Brett Campbell off into the background as well. He is the lone soldier for Aussie Esports tonight. We'll see how he ends up as he's trying to run down the inside there of Tommy Pritchard down the back stretch of Autoclub Speedway. He can't quite get that one done as Brian Bullock's just in front of him, and he's going to make it 3 wide and looks like he's going to get that job done on Brian Bullock. He's going to get a little bit tight there through the mid, and he's just hit Brian Bullock, and it's all fair and love and war there, and they get through that one. But this is a nice little spicy battle as they're still 3 wide down the main stretch. And Brett Campbell just airs on the side of caution there and allows Tom Pritchard to get the job done on him. Brian Bullock still holding fast on the outside. Andy Barber's in behind there as well. So Andy Barber with a pretty lowly qualifying from his own standards. But in saying that, it wasn't a really long practice session. So Norman Clark's gone to the front now over Joshua Carroll-Walden. So both the teammates now have made the move on Sam Katakuzanos to take the lead of this motor race. Jamie Nankervis still in the 4th position. Adam Malone's just jumped up 1 now, so he's taken the spot over Dave Oliver at the moment to just round out the top 5 as we are 4 laps into this 134 lap race around Autoclub Speedway. But now it looks like Dave Oliver's made the move on Jamie Nankervis. Maxi Marshall looking racy there on the inside as well, wanting to make the move on Jamie Nankervis. So this low line is working good early. It looks like it's quick early. It's probably going to drop off pretty quickly, as you can see Matt Payton there on the outside behind Jamie Nankervis. That mid to high line will get a better run off the corner, and you can see Maxi Marshall just looking like he's running on a treadmill there as he goes down the main straight of Autoclub Speedway. So we'll see how that plays out at the moment. The lead guys are still preferring that inside line, that low line through 1 and 2 as Sam Katakuzanos goes, okay guys, you've had a couple of runs at the front, couple of laps at the front. I'll come back up to you guys and keep you honest and see whether I can make a run to the front. But it is still Norman Clark leading the way over Joshua Carroll-Walden, Sam Katakuzanos, Adam Malone, Jamie Nankervis in the 5th position, Matt Payton in the 6th position. Matt Payton with a good start here, Paul. He's up 3 positions on his starting position in the 6th position. Started out of P number 9 as there's nearly a little bit of contact in the background down the front straight of Autoclub Speedway, but they get through there nice and nice and quietly. We can't really say quietly, but Tom Pritchard, Brett Campbell, this little battle's just continuing to go. Looks like that Raymond Yeager's decided, no, it's my time to go, and he's moved up past this battle. So Raymond Yeager now up to 6 spots, starting out of the 17th position. He's up into P11 and getting the job done on these guys early in this one. Lap 6 of 134. Andy Barber's looking at doing that as well, but at the moment he'll be playing the long game, I'd suggest. Andy Barber. He's currently showing 16th on my live timing. That will update as we go across the line. He's still showing in 16th, so there's only 2 guys behind him at the moment. That is Brad Fenley and Michael Shaw. So Andy Barber just playing it nice and calm here early in this race, sitting in behind. So he'll be playing the fuel strategy, trying to put his car in a position to be able to get there later on in the race. So Brett Campbell still liking that high line, but we're back to the front, and this is a nice little train at the moment, Paul. We've got Norman Clark, Joshua Carroll-Walden, and Sam Katakuzanos still leading the way over Adam Malone, Jamie Nankervis, Matt Payton, Maxi Marshall just there on the inside line. Dave Oliver sticking to the outside line. So we've seen Dave Oliver early in this one as we're lap 8 into 134. He's like to be up on that high side line. He hasn't lost a lot early, and I'll quite expect the 668 of Dave Oliver to possibly come forward if this first little race or little first green flag section does play out. If Dave Oliver does stay up onto that high side line, I'd expect Dave Oliver to make his way to the front at the end of this green flag race, as I just see him go to the inside there. So he's just made it a liar out of me as he's trying to make the move on Matt Payton down through the inside line of turns number 1 and 2 here at the Autoclub Speedway. So all the drivers pretty nice and patient here early, but I tell you what, these top 8 drivers have got a 3-second gap, or nearly 4-second gap, over the 9th position of Glenn Klein early in this one, Paul. So 9 laps into 134, they've definitely got their foot down at the front.
Yeah, for sure. There's a bit of a battle going on with this backpack, so once they all get themselves sorted, then I'm sure that gap will close. But Raymond Yeager looking to make the moves around there with Tom Pritchard, Darren McKenzie, so once those 3 are at the front there, they'll definitely be pulling this pack back up onto that lead pack, I guess. So, but it's been a good clean start from everyone. Everyone's racing pretty hard. Not sure if you noticed that it does look like the car might be a little bit unsettled in the rear, possibly. Saw a bit of a wiggle getting on from some of these cars in the middle of these packs here.
Yeah, it looks a little bit unsettled. That's why I think that mid to high line's pretty favourable on the long run, because if you try and rotate that car through the entry of the corner down low, as you see Norman and Joshua Carroll-Walden there just sort of sit on that midline rather. So they've sorted this one out early. If you try and bring it down too low, it looks like on exit it's going to want to get a little bit of oversteer. So we're slowly seeing these cars move up on the racetrack, but then they make me a liar there through 3 and 4 and run a completely different line. Autoclub Speedway, an interesting track. Out of 3 and 4, you can get caught out there on the exit nice and high, and you can be the friend with the outside wall very, very quickly, as we did see Norman Clark get very close to the outside wall, but he's still good to go at the front of this one. So it is an 8 driver battle at the front at the moment. So we'll go through the top 8 as they stand, going down the back straight for the 12th time here of 134. It is Norman Clark over Joshua Carroll-Walden, Sam Katakuzanos in 3rd, Adam Malone 4th, Jamie Nankervis 5th, Matt Payton into 6th, Dave Oliver 7th, and Maxi Marshall your 8th position. And then we'll watch Maxi Marshall go through this time. We'll see him go through, and we'll watch this next battle pack come through. So you can see off in, I'm just trying to watch that now because the cameras keep going on me. That's the pleasure we have with these cameras. Maxi Marshall just dropping off to the back of the paddle off that first battle pack at the moment. So we're just having a look. And yeah, Maxi Marshall just dropping off the back of this battle pack at the moment. He's dropped about half a second off the back of the lead group. he's probably thinking fuel at the moment. He's just running there on the higher line. So he does have Dave Oliver in front of him at the moment. So don't be surprised if these guys in the background, about 3 seconds off this pack, led by Raymond Yeager, do catch up onto the back of this front group pretty quickly. So we'll see whether that does play out. But the 7 of Maxi Marshall just taking that higher line, trying to make this first stint a little bit quicker in the long run, as Sam Katakuznos looking like he's trying to make the move up the inside now. So he's not happy sitting in the third position. He's looking at making the move on Joshua Carroll-Walden. It looks like he's got that job done, as we're still on board with Maxi Marshall. But no, he hasn't quite got that job done. We're too wide down the main straight of Autoclub Speedway. Adam Malone's playing a part of this battle as well, and Sam Katakuznos is going to get left behind through turns number 1 and 2, as Adam Malone gets a lot of oversteer there onto entry. We'll see whether he can clear Sam Katakuznos down the back straight of Autoclub Speedway this time around. Sam Katakuznos going to get left out to dry there on the inside line. So let's go on board with the 968 of Sam Katakuznos, Team Bushfink Racing. Let's do a couple of laps around Autoclub Speedway in the 968 Next Gen Cup car here around Autoclub Speedway for the Indosim Esports Network. Well, there's a couple of laps in the 968 Team Bushfink Racing car of Sam Katakuznos. Is getting a little bit spicy in front of him as Adam Malone takes the lead of the motor race. But you can see how well that outside line is working. And as soon as you get a little bit of help on the outside line, you do make the moves. As Jamie Nankervis gets very close there to Joshua Carroll-Walden. Joshua just makes his way up into the outside line to stop contact there in behind his teammate of Norman Clark. Now, Jamie Nankervis is going to be stuck on the inside line as we've got another change for the lead. It's Do Photo, Dave Oliver, Do Photo. He's up into the lead of the motor race. So Dave Oliver, who was down there a 6th or 7th early in this one, just sitting on that high side line, he's decided it's his time to put the pedal down and go to the front of this one, 19 laps into 134. So Dave Oliver will lead us across the strike this time around. Adam Malone in second position. Joshua Carroll-Walden just getting the job done now on his teammate Norman Clark, and your championship leader in 4th position. Matty Payton there doing a good job tonight too, Paul, up into the 5th position. Matty Payton's had some really good results lately, and good to see him up into P5 early on in this one.
Definitely, I thought he was just about to spare off the track there. I think it was the camera angle looked a bit deceiving. I thought you might have put the commentator's curse on him there, but Matty's going well. We do see Matty have some quite good runs and good results in these next-gen cars as well, so I'm sure he's looking forward to the new season that'll be coming next year.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. He's had some good results. He's also had some good results in the trucks. Last week he come off top 3 in the trucks around Daytona, actually, with the Pinnacle Esports 1, 2, 3, with him leading the way over Justin Witcher and Greg Spencer. So he'll be looking for another solid run. No, it was Greg. Matt won it. But yeah, he'll be looking for another. So I don't know if you're on the broadcast at all, Paul, or whether you're still muted, because it sounds like I'm talking to myself when I answer you.
You're definitely talking to yourself now. I'm just making you sound crazy there. I'll unmute myself for that. But I thought it was Nigel Patton that won it.
No, that's another race. I know the one you're thinking of. It was Nigel and Raymond, I believe, first and second. But no, it was just last week. Matt Payton. It was in the open trucks on a Sunday morning at the Daytona International Speedway, and it was Matt Payton getting the cookies or the chocolates over his teammate Justin Witcher, and third place was Greg Spencer in a Daytona that only had 5 cars on the lead lap at the end of it. So another one of those Daytona races, but it is still Dave Oliver leading the way in this race at the moment. Adam Malone sitting there in second spot. But I tell you what, that gap between that first and second group has now halved in the last couple of laps. Well, we just debated on who won that Daytona race the other week, and it's gone back down to 1.9 seconds, Paul. So Raymond's pulled the gap in to Maxi Marshall, who's just off the back of this lead group, down to under 2 seconds. It was nearly out to 4 seconds, and now we're 23 into 134. So we'll see whether Raymond and this group here can make their way up into contention of this lead group. Interesting to see, though, Glenn Klein, Brett Campbell, Brad Fenley, even Michael Shaw, a long way off the back of this group. So I don't know if they've had a little bit of an incident by themselves into the wall. We'll see whether they've got some damage there. So we're on board with the 015. Oh no, we just moved back to Brad Fenley. Brad Fenley coming off some really good results lately too, Paul, in that VB Victoria Bitter livery. He's had some really good results here in the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series, and he's finding himself at the moment back in 16th position, quite a lot off the lead of this motor race, and he's got no help. So he's going to have a nice lonely drive for the rest of this one if we go caution free. There we're on board with the 07 of Michael Shaw at the moment. So Michael Shaw currently holding down the 17th position. Looks like Greg Spencer's said my night's over. He's now gone 10 laps down early into this one. So you can see that group in behind Norman Clark. Norman's just dropped to the back of this front group at the moment. Maxi Marshall's got the better of him. But have a look at that. There's the gap of 9 tenths of a second. Raymond Yeager. So it's almost a gap that's non-existent early in this one. It was nearly 4 seconds, and now the likes of Raymond Yeager, Tom Pritchard, Andy Barber, Darren McKenzie, and Brian Bullock will range up onto the back of this battle, and we will make it a 13-car battle for the lead of this motor race, 25 into 134. So Tom Pritchard just in behind Raymond Yeager at the moment. He's not going to want to go anywhere. He's just going to be pushing Raymond right up to the back of this lead battle at the moment. It's down to 0.7 of a second. Norman Clark just dropping off the back of the lead group at the moment. He'll just be sitting back there waiting and waiting and waiting. We know Norman Clark sits there and goes, I don't really know what I'm doing in strategy. I just play it out as I see. We saw Norman Clark leading the race earlier over his teammate Joshua Carroll-Walton, who's also likewise dropped back to the 6th position in this one, as Adam Malone's now taken over the lead from Dave Oliver. Sam Katakouzanos trying to make the move on Dave Oliver. Do photo through turns number 3 and 4. Can do photo, do a photo on the outside. No, he can't. And he's going to just hold on to that over Sam Katakouzanos as Sam just jumps up to the outside line, and they're single file. So there you can go, Paul. There you can go. There you go, Paul. It's now a 13-car battle for the lead of the motor race, as all the way down to Brian Bullock look like they've caught up onto this front little pack. And we're about to see some moves, and it's about to get pretty spicy, as you can see all the drivers make their way down the back stretch of Autoclub Speedway, 27 into 134 laps.
Yeah, I did say once the second pack there sorted themselves out, got a bit of rhythm going, that they would catch this front pack, and that sort of happened, and they've only done that with a 5-car pack as they've dropped off the others that were on the pack that were trying to fight for those positions in the back there. But they should have just all settled down and worked together as Raymond and the Southern Star boys there, and Brian Bullock as well, have done. So now Raymond Yeager right up on the back of Norman Clark there, looking to start making some position gains as they've caught up.
Yeah, definitely. So Raymond looking really strong in there behind Norman Clark at the moment. He's going to get balked by Maxi Marshall on the outside line there. So Raymond Yeager catching right up onto the back of this lead group. He's making the run now around the outside of Norman Clark. He's going to get that job done down into turn number 1 and 2. He's going to try and get 2 for his money here on Maxi Marshall down the inside of turns number 1 and 2. He's going to get that job done as well, and he's going to get a good run on the 968 of Sam Katakuznos here down the back straight. So as quick as you look away, Raymond Yeager, after dragging this group up to the back of this, is really looking racy and trying to move to the front of this one. Looks like his tyres are in a lot better position as he puts his 23 Taylor Swift, the old Tay-Tay. You can see Taylor Swift, the Redemption Tour, on the side of his car. So we'll call him Tay-Tay for tonight, Paul. And Tay-Tay makes his way down the inside of Sam Katakuznos. He's going to try and get the job done there on Matt Payton as well. Matt Payton, his teammate for Pinnacle Esports. They don't have the same livery here tonight, but I can definitely guarantee you they are teammates. But he didn't have any help there going down the back straight. So that didn't help him with the slipstream, but he's definitely able to hold that inside line a lot better than the cars around him. But the more he sits down there, the more he's going to chew up the outside of that front right-hand tyre, and the more he's going to allow these drivers at the front to just get better on the longer run. So we'll see whether he tries to go down the inside again. He does. He wants to stay on that inside and get the job done and try and move ahead. And it looks like he's got a big run and got that one done on Jamie Nankervis as well. So 3 cars in one corner. Jamie Nankervis is going to get, see how Raymond's just having to move up a little bit there. So I don't know whether Raymond's going to sit up on the high side a little bit longer now and just let those tyres cool down and have another run. We'll see whether he does down the front stretch here at Autoclub Speedway. We're going to come into pit stop territory pretty shortly, but Raymond Yeager definitely not wanting to sit back in this one, as he's now moved up into the 4th position. He's going to get a good run through turns number 1 and 2 this time again. He's got some good drive there in the Tay-Tay 23, and he's going to make his way up into 2nd position. He's going to drop backwards a little bit down the back stretch this time through just because of the draft, but we'll see him drop down on the bottom again and see where that puts him through turns number 3 and 4. He pushes up, gets a little bit tight there through the mid of the turn. That's going to allow Jamie Nankervis on the outside to get a little bit of a run around the outside of him with Joshua Carroll-Walden. So this is where we're seeing now with Raymond Yeager running that low line. The car's starting to get a little bit tight. So he's possibly going to have to move up a little bit more. But just in saying that, he really wants to get those jobs done. And he's made that job done on Jamie Nankervis. Have a look at this draft though, ladies and gentlemen. This is a good shot. So probably not a really good example for you, but you can see how quickly, see Jamie Nankervis there, Raymond trying to get up into the outside line. He can't quite get that done. So he was 3 car lengths in front of Jamie Nankervis coming onto the back stretch of Autoclub Speedway that time around, and that's how quick you catch up. So you'll see it here now down the front stretch. Raymond Yeager has no one to help him on the inside line. He's just a sitting duck. Oh, we've got an incident, and that's Jamie Nankervis. Do photo. We've got cars everywhere. Brian Bullock's involved in that one, and we are caution here for the first time tonight here for the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series. We'll go across to the Inside Lane Productions instant replay in a minute. Looks like Jamie Nankervis has a lot of damage here, and that is not done for Jamie Nankervis. So across to the Inside Lane Productions instant replay. We'll see how that happens. So Dave Oliver on the outside lane, Joshua Carroll-Walden just in behind him. Joshua Carroll-Walden getting into the right-hand rear there of Dave Oliver. That sent Dave Oliver around, Joshua Carroll-Walden around, Jamie Nankervis, nowhere to go. Matt Payton, nowhere to go. Matt Payton's actually got out of that one pretty well. No, he's gone into the wall. Maxi Marshall a part of that as well. Norman Clark's got through that on the inside line. We'll see whether Tom Pritchard gets a part of that. We can see Andy Barber in the background goes, no, I don't want any part of that. And I've just gone to the inside line. So a lot of drivers, it makes a lot of drivers there actually caught in that incident. That's going to really narrow down this field early on, Paul.
Yeah, definitely. Thought we were going to go for a green flag pit stop here, but wasn't the case. So we'll see everyone probably duck into the pits now to get their fuel and possibly tyres, as well as Jamie Nankervis there is just towing back to pit lane there with the damage of his car. So I'd say there could be a few drivers actually out of this race after that crash.
Yeah, I'd strongly suggest it. So we'll just put our mics on mute for a minute as these guys come through pit lane and surf their pit stop. And we'll be back with you very shortly here on the InterSim Esports Network as I go and get some trivia ready for you. Go and get a bite to eat and a drink and get ready to bring you all the action for the remaining 98 laps here around Autoclub Speedway.
Flag.
And we're green once again here, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry to be a little bit away at the moment. We've just got stuff going in the background here from both of us. Well, we have a delayed broadcast, so the things that we thought we would have had done and dusted aren't done at the moment. So we do apologise that. We will actually just go on board with Adam Malone, your race leader at the moment. Let's just do a couple of laps around and watch this race play out 38 into 134. We do apologise, ladies and gentlemen. Just enjoy these cars going around Autoclub Speedway for a little while, and we'll be back with you very shortly here on the Sim Esports Network. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. My apologies so much, but I'm sure... Oh, hang on, my God, hang on. I'll be back in a second. My apologies.
Alright, I'll jump back in the hot seat here. So Darren McKenzie's now making his way up through the field slowly. Just got the moves done there on Glenn Klein. So a few of these guys that were running around the back of the pack and had dropped off the back of the pack at the start of this race have actually found themselves up at the pointy end of the race now. So Brad Fedley actually sitting up there in 4th spot. So he was well out of the field here as Brian Oliver there, Brian Block, sorry, got a lot of damage on the front of his car, so it's definitely not up to race pace there, as he just stays up high as everyone moves around the inside of him. Matt Padden there making the moves as well with Andy Barber. Dave Oliver there missing the whole front of his car as well, but still looking like he's got a little bit of pace there to the car as well. He's missing the front and rear bumper on his car there, so quite a lot of damage on that, but it could just be cosmetic as he seems to still have good race pace there. But Raymond Yeager now getting the moves done on Adam Malone, so Raymond Yeager now taking over the lead of this race up into P1. So Raymond starting back in 17th on the last row of the grid, and he's now found his way up into P1. Andy Barber there on the inside now making the moves around Brett Campbell on the outside. Not quite able to get the job done there, so that's the one thing I like about Auto Club, the lines that you can actually take around the track. So if you don't have anyone following you, that inside line tends to be a little bit slower, and that outside line works really well when you've got everyone following you. So when you're that lead car in a pack, you tend to get everyone following you, and it makes it harder for those trying to make the moves down the inside if you're sticking to that outside line. I do find myself that, especially in turn 3 and 4, out of turn 4 particularly, keeping that high line out of turn 4 down the front straight there, I do find does keep a lot of speed as well, whereas a few others like to drop to that inside line out of 4, just try and use a shorter distance there on the track. But again, it's a bit of a mix there of if you've got someone to work with you to push you as well on that inside line, or if the field decides to stay behind you on that outside line.
And I agree with that, Paul, and I'm back with you, mate. Thank you for covering me there. I really appreciate that one. It's not often that I go quiet here on the Indus Esports Network, but had to deal with some things in the background, as we all have a life, obviously, in the real world. So I do apologise, ladies and gentlemen, for me just going off there and leaving you in the launch there, under the bus there, Paul. So thank you for jumping in and covering me there. But it is good at the front. Raymond Yeager, Adam Malone, Darrell McKenzie still leading the way over Tom Pritchard, Brad Fenley, Andy Barber and Brett Campbell. But once again, Paul, thanks for covering me there, mate. You did a great job.
No worries. I had my own little issues there with the kids as well in the background. Luckily, most of that was under caution, so that's all good there, as we all have things going on as well. So here's a big question for you, Aiden, tonight. Southern Stars.
Please don't be trivia, because I'll get it wrong.
No, not quite. Oh, I'll leave that one for you. But Southern Stars here, P2, yeah. P3, P4 currently. Is this the night that they're going to be all 3 cars on the podium?
Oh, that's a big question. All right, do I put my racer hat on or my commentary hat on? Because this is a hard thing. The Southern Stars Esports Racing team are usually my nemesis, and I usually try and beat them every week. But I actually think they're great guys and have a great racing team as well. So let's put the commentary hat on. Let's just say I'd much rather be Adam Malone, Darrell McKenzie and Tom Pritchard now than I'd like to be Raymond Yeager. So that probably answers this one. Those 3 guys at the moment have a lot of advantage over the 23 Tay entry of Raymond Yeager in relation to strategy, being able to split that strategy a little bit, test the waters, 49 into 134, whereas at the moment, Raymond Yeager's pretty much out there on his own. The closest person to him teammate-wise is Matt Payton in the 7th position. So, yeah, answer to your question, this is the best chance that the Southern Stars Esports Racing team have to get a 1, 2, 3. It'll be the first time for these drivers, so hopefully they can do. I know they're probably thinking they're stars that me and you aren't out there, because, you know, we're just awesome and stuff. But no, we're not really, ladies and gentlemen. We just like blowing our own trumpet here on the Indus Esports Network. It's the only platform we get to do so. But yeah, definitely think this is the best opportunity for the Southern Stars Esports Racing team to get that podium at the moment. Kylie, obviously tuning in, the partner, I believe, of Andy Barber. He's off the back of this at the moment. He's in 6th position. He's no one to really not look for at the moment, as he's sitting off the back. He will still play a part in this one. So it is Southern Stars Esports Racing 2, 3, 4 and 6. Andy Barber with some solid runs lately as well. So Kylie even tuned into our chat and said she's not tuned into the the broadcast, but she's not listening to what Andy's listening at and doesn't want to distract him tonight. So she's actually tuning. Oh, and Brad Fenn, Dave, Do Photos had a big incident. His motor's blown, and that's going to be another caution, 52 into 134. So, as is usual here on the Indus Esports Network, Paul, every time I talk, there's an incident.
Well, you really have. You really have.
He just thought he'll finish it off. He just thought he'll finish it off, mate.
Well, it actually sounded like a Motor Blue, so we might have to go back to that replay. It might not have been Dave's at Blue, maybe. Not too sure. Let's go have a look at the Inside Lane Productions replay.
Let's do that as Dave Oliver decides to finish the job down pit lane. So thank you to Inside Lane Productions for the instant replay, as always. So through the corner, Matt Payton there on the inside. Oh, that was it. There was contact.
Yeah, that was the impact I heard in the background there. It did sound like a Motor Blue, but just head on straight into the wall there.
I think photo. Oh. Yeah, sure, he did a great job there actually getting past, even though he's up down. But I think photo, Dave Oliver, and sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we come up with some really weird nicknames here on the Indus Esports Network. And be sure to tune in over the next couple of weeks, because we do have some big news here on the Indus Esports Network that we do need to share with you pretty shortly. I don't know if we're going to share with you tonight or whether we'll share with you over the coming weeks, but we have some big news. And it'll be good to share it with you. But we do have random... Oh, the big fakies from Adam Malone. And I know that I believe that was Tay-Tay's coming to pit lane. But yeah, we do have random nicknames that we do give all the drivers. We do like to spice it up here on the Indus Esports Network. Make it fun, make it enjoyable. These drivers love driving. They love watching it back. And we try and make it fun here on the Indus Esports Network. We haven't got any trivia so far. Don't worry. Listen to this. It's right in front of you, ready to go.
Sounds like you're blowing on your mic there. I don't know what was going on. What was I listening to?
I wasn't blowing on my mic. That was paper, ladies and gentlemen. But let's just go with blowing on the mic. But Steve Hoppett jumping into the thing. Oh, right. I'd call that contact net code. There is no way the car will go into the wall that angle. And that. Oh, all right. So Ryan Barber's now an expert on race control. So Ryan Barber's now put his hand up to be race control next for the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series. Thank you, Ryan. We're yet to see you up in the broadcast booth, mate. We've asked you a couple of times, but haven't seen you up here, but look forward to seeing you up here. But it will be Adam Malone leading the way. But you know what that means, Paul? We're 54 and 134.
Trivia!
Yeah, trivia! Indus Esports Network Friday night trivia! And we will bring you some special trivia over the coming weeks. And we will bring you some... funniest moments of the year and all that type of stuff, and you'll get to see our ugly mugs and all that type of stuff, so look forward to that, tune into that, or not like it, one of the two. But anyway, let's go into some trivia. All right, so let's just go with a basic one to start with, as Adam Malone will lead the way under the safety car as the lights are off the safety car. So we'll get through this one really, really quickly. So tune into the broadcast and give us your answers. So here we go. So what is the seating capacity at Autoclub Speedway? There you go. Nice, simple one. Before we go green, the drivers are ready to go. Adam Malone will take us to the green flag over Darren McKenzie, Andy Barber, Norman Clark, Raymond Yeager, Brad Fenley, Tom Pritchard, Freddie Campbell, Go Aussie Esports, Michael Shaw, Glenn Klein. So what is the seating capacity of Autoclub Speedway? As I just spilt my water all over my sim rig, so that's great for it. But anyway, what do you reckon the seating capacity is, Paul, as we're about to go green? 55 into 134?
I really hate your trivia questions, but it's a big track. Look at that grandstand there. It's quite a massive grandstand. Let me just count all those people up there. Oh,
And I'll just take
hang on.
over for a second as we're green, though. We'll let you think about that one because I know you need a lot of thinking to do. Like, this is Paul. Like, you can't do two things.
That grandstand's still going. Look at it. It wraps around the whole corner.
Yeah,
There's got to be about 1 million people there.
I could be leading into a false sense of security here as Adam Malone makes his way through turns number 1 and 2, leading the way over Andy Barber, the Coca-Cola assassin. I brought him back as the Coca-Cola assassin. He hasn't run the Coca-Cola livery for a long time since he's been in the Southern Stars Esports racing outfit, and Darren McKenzie's going to leave him high and dry on the outside. But Raymond Yeager, Tay-Tay's taken the lead now for the... it's not unusual to see Tay-Tay, so he was at the back early, but he's now taken the lead. But anyway, we go green. It's nice and steady at the moment as we see Brad Fenley just trying to make a move on the outside of Brett Campbell there down the front stretch. So, Paul, back to the question. What is the seating capacity of Autoclub Speedway?
Well, Steve Hoppert jumped in there with a 75,000 figure there, rounded out.
So he thinks Suncorp Stadium in Brisbane plus 25,000. So, okay, so he's thinking another half of Suncorp Stadium. And what's Sydney? That's probably 90,000, 80,000. Yeah, so, yeah, okay. Without knowing, Kylie's come in 83,000, mate.
Well, I'm just going to have to keep bumping it up here because looking at that grandstand, there's...
Do not Google, because I can hear your keyboard in the background, so don't Google.
That's pushing my push to talk on the mic button here, so it's muted and unmuted. But, I'm going to have to bump that number up because, yeah, looking at that grandstand, like, look at this grandstand. That is huge. There's going to be... There's probably... Well, I'd say at least 400,000 in there.
400?
Yep.
Wow. That's... I tell you what, if there's 400,000, I'm going to Autoclub Speedway.
There's people standing there. There's not enough seats. They have to stand next to the stand.
That's all Derek Jacobs supporters from the United States of America. They're all standing there down on the inside line. Just, they've only come out for tonight, and they're very disappointed that Derek Jacobs is not out there tonight. So, yeah, that's all his supporters. So that's not capacity. That's just them all getting down to the bleachers, wanting to see Derek Jacobs in the 99 Southern Stars Esports racing outfit. So...
Well, if they're getting that close, are they trying to see when he smacks the wall from his unfortunate run, or...?
Yeah, possibly. But I can give you the actual answer if you want.
Well, we got Kobe Jordan as well before you jump in there. 122k from Kobe Jordan.
Kobe Jordan lies because he's Googling. And by the way, Kobe Jordan, the man from Inside Lane Productions, thank you, Kobe Jordan, and thanks for cheating there and jumping on and Googling the answer, because you are correct, 122,000 is the capacity here around Autoclub Speedway. But thank you, Cobes from Inside Lane Productions, for jumping on and supporting this series. You should be out there tonight racing, mate. But good to see you here on the Indersim Esports Network as Brett Campbell now is having a nice little battle, and he's got up into the 3rd position. He's now going to make the move on Tom Pritchard down the backstretch. So Brett Campbell coming off his first win this year. He's now doing a good job trying to make the move on Tom Pritchard here into 2nd position. He'll have Raymond Yeager, Tay-Tay, just in front of him very shortly.
Well... Could we see Brett Campbell getting a 2nd podium here, Hayden? He had a win in the next gen cars, I believe. His first win as well, and he's looking like he's going to have a podium at the moment here as well. As we're lap 62 into 134, he's looking like he's got a lot of pace actually. We did see obviously a few cars pit. Sorry to keep going here. We did see a few cars pit as those Southern Stars racing cars did opt to stay out. So there could be some fresh tyres there under Brett's car as he's making the move for the P1 for this race. He's going to lead a lap.
Yeah, this is definitely about tyres. So he did come through pit lane on lap 53, the same as everyone else that he's battling for at the front. He did take fresh tyres as well, so he just needs to be very careful here. He wouldn't have taken tyres in the first one, I wouldn't suggest, so he will have another set in the bank. But Brett's doing a great job at the moment. What a great livery that is. You know, it might be my team, but just saying that. Great livery. But
well,
the odds here,
the gold rims really make that car pop, I think. So they look quite nice on the car.
It looks really good, and a big shout out to Ruben Phelps. Is not in there tonight. He did deliveries for these cars as much as I do a lot of liveries and stuff through my Media Cube crew, Aiden and Prue's Media Cube. Just a little bit of a shout out there, but he did all deliveries, which is really, really good. And I'm a little bit disappointed. We do all these broadcasting. I don't get to show my own cars and everything on there, but hopefully everyone else is tuning into all the other things to be able to see me and Paul run around, because we actually go half all right, don't we, Paul? We got a first and a third last night. We actually go half all right, although we talk crap all the time here on the Sim Esports Network. We do go all right. We have a good run, but Raymond Yeager, Tay just leading the way at the moment. But Brett Campbell looking really solid there on the outside at the moment in the second position. If he can manage those tyres, 65 into 134. He's probably got another 30 laps he needs to do on those tyres. He's currently running that mid-line at the moment, which is good for him. But I tell you what, the likes of Tom Pritchard, Adam Malone, Darren McKenzie and Andy Barber behind him, they've seen all this before. So they will be very smart in how to play this one out. But we go back to the answer, and it was the answer from Kobe Jordan. He was correct. 122,000 is the answer, Paul, for the seating capacity around Autoclub Speedway.
Well, it definitely looks like a lot more looking at that grandstand. Maybe iRacing just threw a few more people in there for the sake of it, possibly.
But like I told you, it's all Derek Jacobs fans. Tom Pritchard's there on the outside, just trying to get accustomed with them on the outside of turns number 1 and 2. They're trying to think the 6 looks like a 9 and saying that's Derek Jacobs. Hi, Derek, as he makes his way down the back stretch.
Hang on a sec here, Aiden. When we come round, I'll make a wager with you. $100 if you can find Samantha in the crowd there.
I got no answer to that. I got none. Because you're controlling the cameras, so whatever I say is going to be wrong. So I feel like I'm going to be out of $100. So, yeah, you tried to get me on that one. You're not going to. But Brett Campbell ranging his way on the back of Tay at the moment. Sorry, Raymond Yeager, for calling you Tay. You're a good bloke, Razor, but ex-teammate of mine, but you're Tay for the night. And he's got redemption on the car there. Hopefully he doesn't need redemption as he leads the way.
Believe it or not, on Wednesday night in another league we run, there was almost a hand on the track.
What's a hand?
Well, there's a Tay there. There was going to be a hand, Hannah Montana.
I do not know what you're going on about, but what's that?
You don't know who Hannah Montana is?
I know who Hannah Montana is, but I don't watch her frequently. But I know I grew up and... Anyway, finish the story before I make myself look even more stupid.
Well, there was almost a hand on the track. I almost put a paint job of Hannah Montana on the car.
Oh. Well, that's interesting. That's a story for another day.
Bit of useless chat there, but... Maybe I might have to do that next Wednesday.
Yeah, why not do it? Bit of hand. But that's usually what Tom Pritchard does anyway.
Well, we better go on board here with Tom Pritchard, make sure there's no hand business going on there. as we go for a lap around Auto Club with Tom Pritchard.
All right, but we're on board with Han as he makes his way through turns number 3 and 4. We'll roll it straight across over to Paul Jackson because he wanted to bring us back in. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
You brought us back in anyway, Aidan. But I was going to say, good to see Tom with both hands on the wheel there as he was following Brett Campbell, who had a big Woody on the back of his car. But he got a little bit loose and he's made his way into pit lane now.
There's too much innuendo here on the Sim Esports Network. You got to watch out when a Woody gets loose, but we're... All right. Oh, we're back.
All right. Are we?
I think we're back. Are we back? We got our serious face on. All right.
Oh,
Friday night,
I can't see you, mate.
Cup. Tay-Tay's leading. I could lead into so many things, but I'm going to be professional as a broadcaster at the moment. It is Pritchard in second, Adam Malone third, Darren McKenzie fourth, Andy Barber in fifth. So it's actually a little bit like watching, not a rival broadcast, but they got a little bit silly with the broadcast at the moment, and I actually feel half normal now, just having a little bit of a joke, which is really weird for us because we're usually really serious here on the Sim Esports Network, and that's not taking anything away from the drivers because we do want to be serious. But I hope you're getting a laugh out of us having a little bit of fun on a Friday night, as much as it could be a little bit inappropriate on some occasions, and we do apologise. But
well, Brett Campbell there's out of action. He's got to go pick up the missus from work. So unfortunate there for Brett. You're looking good for a podium there. So excuse me, very unfortunate there, Brett. But I'm sure we'll see you back up there again, if not next week, in the weeks to come.
Yeah, definitely. And Tay-Tay still needs the way, so she doesn't have to worry about the Woody Brett Campbell tonight. So Tay-Tay's good to go. And yeah, green flag pit stops now. Adam Malone, Andy Barber, and Norman Clark in pit lane. But all right, we'll go back to some Sim Esports Network trivia as they go into pit lane 75 into 134. Let's get some seriousness back. As how weird is that? We're calling Sim Esports Network trivia serious. Like, that's a little bit crazy. But let's do that after we got a little bit of excitement here.
Can I guess the question?
Yeah, do it. Go for it.
Is it going to be how many toilets there are, since you've asked the stand like we've had before?
I've asked that once, Paulina. No, it's not going to be, my friend.
Well, when you got to go, you got to go, you know. So.
Well, that's true. Lucky Tom Pritchard is using two hands. So, do it. Yeah, put Pete up into the booth. He'll love this. Ladies and gentlemen, I reckon we'll announce what we need to announce tonight. We might as well do it tonight, later on in the broadcast. But bring Paul Gretton up into the booth. But
Mr. Gren, jump in and come on down.
Come on, Pete, jump in the booth, mate. Have some fun with us. But the next question is, what year were lights added to Autoclub Speedway?
Some of these questions are very repetitive. I'm sure we have the same questions.
Well, hey,
on a rotating roster.
My beautiful partner Prue writes these down every week. And you actually heard me about 20 minutes before we went live. I said, babe, please, sugar on top. Can you please get some questions for me? You heard that, and this is what she's written. So don't throw my partner on the bus. Well, you can actually, because they are the same questions. But
I was going to say, what's the sugar on top of?
Well, Steve Hoppett's just tuning into the chat saying, behave yourself. I am behaving myself, Stephen. I'm trying to behave myself here on a Friday night. Paul's leading me down the garden path. It's not my fault Tom Pritchard's talked about stuff. But anyway, we're just trying to keep a bit of fun. But 78 of 134, it is Raymond Yeager still leading the way over Tom Pritchard, Glenn Klein. Still yet to see Mr. Peter Gretton into the booth. No Peter Gretton. There he is. He's in the green room. Jump in, Peter. I'll bring him up. Mr. Peter Gretton is coming up. All right. Oh, beat me to it. So we have you in the booth, Mr. Peter Gretton. Mate, you tuned into the broadcast. You come out for a good time, and good to see you back here on the Indersim Esports Network for some next-gen Cup Series racing.
Yeah, mate, definitely. I'm just going to mute the broadcast. But, yeah, it's good to be back. I just tuned into the comments, mate. It sounds like he's having a blast. But, yeah, how you's been, boys?
Yeah, good, mate. I've seen you doing a lot of supercar stuff and seen you back in and doing your broadcast stuff. And we saw you tuning in to the broadcast and commenting, and we thought, what a better way and how fitting would it be to you to probably jump up here in the broadcast and pull me and Paul Jackson back into line, because tell you what, we've been very serious here on the Indersim Esports Network, but we couldn't keep it together there for a couple of laps.
I tell you, mate, you summoned the wrong person to pull you boys into line. I tell you,
Oh, it's a 64. Andy Barber's got a... Yes, and that's not going to bring out a caution either, as we just let that calm down a bit. So Andy Barber with a lot of damage there. Sam Katakuznos with some damage as well. Glenn Klein damaged, so he was out of the third position. But... no caution, 81 into 134, Paul.
That was very interesting. That looked like almost like a brake check or something down the back straight there. Yeah, it was an interesting one.
Yeah, it was. But Glenn Klein still travelling around. But I tell you, the man who liked that was Raymond Yeager. We got one hand Tom Pritchard in the background. Who we got? Adam Malone. He's currently a lap down. So this is a difference of strategy at the moment. Let's just wait for live timing to catch up. And by the way, Pete, sorry to pull you in halfway, but this was a late broadcast from us. We were meant to be live nearly 50 minutes before this actually went live. So we're just trying to catch up with how everything is playing out in front of us with the live timing. Not sure if you have that in front of you at the moment, but that's all good. But Adam Malone at the moment is making the move on Raymond Yeager, but Adam Malone at the moment is still just getting his lap back, as is Darren McKenzie. So Raymond Yeager doing a different strategy here. So this is interesting to see, Paul. There's a lot to play out in this little battle, as we got one hand in the background. Is that Tom Pritchard in the background? We're calling him one hand. We give people nicknames.
I was going to say handyman, but
handyman, yeah, he'd be happy with that one. He'd be happy. And Kylie not happy with what happened to Andy Barber there either. She's got the big sad faces. But interesting. Sorry, this is not our best call, ladies and gentlemen, but I hope you're laughing at us. Let's have a... No, you know what, Peter? we brought you into the broadcast booth. Ask us around. This is the Intersim Esports Network trivia on a Friday night, mate. And it can be any trivia. Any trivia, whatever you want. And you'll be a part of our famous Intersim Esports Network trivia night in the coming weeks.
Any trivia? Well,
Jump
I'm not
in and give our viewers a question.
Can I take a rain check? I'm trying to get the screen share back up still, Aiden, so I'll rain check on that and give me 2 minutes.
You could have just asked what the blue wiggle was.
Well, there's been that many change-ups in the Wiggles, so who
right,
knows? Who knows who's who now?
I've got a question. It'll stump the viewers. They won't get it. No one will get it.
It won't stump one hand.
Where's the next round at the V8 Supercars?
Oh, well. Really?
It was stumpiest, wasn't it?
Well, I know I'm racing there in a week or two, and my first ever 1,000.
No, the real Supercars, mate.
Yeah, the real Supercars. The next round's at Bathurst.
Oh, don't they have one more? See, look, I don't even know the answer to my own question, mate.
Yeah, there you go. So you got Prue writing your questions. Prue's writing your questions too.
I'm very disappointed that Murphy and Stanaway can't make it over from NZ to team up for Bathurst. I was really looking forward to Murphy back at Bathurst.
Yeah, it would have been good, but Stanaway would have binned it in the first session anyway. So, but Murphy's good. But no, in all seriousness, that would have been a good team to see how they would have played out and see how they would have come up, because Richie Stanaway's one of the best drivers coming out of New Zealand, apart from Shane Van Gisbergen, and he was actually better than Shane going overseas and doing a lot of open wheel stuff. And he's one of the drivers that really hasn't come to his potential, I'd suggest, Paul, as you'd probably agree. He went across to Gary Rogers Motorsport when he come across to the supercar ranks, and a great steerer, and just hasn't really fulfilled his potential when he come across into supercars. So it was good to see him to get another run back in supercars, and who better to run the Bathurst 1000 with but the legend. You remember the Lap of the Gods by Murphy.
Murphy, yeah. Definitely do.
But then that just got absolutely walloped by Scott McLaughlin when he went and did his. But that's a different aero car. That's a different aero package. That's a totally different car. But we all remember our special times around Bathurst, but we're right here for the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series. 88 of 134 we go. It is currently Raymond Yeager. He's got 3.7 seconds over one hand Tom Pritchard. Brad Fenley in third, Adam Malone in fourth, Darren McKenzie in fifth at the moment. So we'll have a look at the pit strategy. So only 5 cars on the lead lap at the moment. Adam Malone last through pit lane on 74, Darren McKenzie 73. Adam Malone in the box seat of this one at the moment, as Maxi Marshall's now in pit lane. So a lot of different strategies here. But yeah, Maxi will go right back into this one. But Raymond Yeager will be coming into pit lane right now as we see him coming into pit lane. So this will be his last stop. Tom Pritchard's coming into pit lane as well. This is going to give Adam Malone the lead of this motor race over Darren McKenzie. So they're going, Brad Fenley at the moment in the 59 will... Just looking at that, yes, Brad Fenley will take the lead of the race as he goes across the strike. He won't be far from coming into pit lane. So when Brad Fenley decides to come into pit lane, it will be Adam Malone and Darren McKenzie leading the way. Have a look at Michael Shaw, Paul. 53 though, he's in the same position as Raymond Yeager and Tom Pritchard. He'll be pitting anytime soon. So Raymond Yeager, Tom Pritchard out of pit lane. So they both pitted on lap 89. So Adam Malone and Darren McKenzie still need to do another Another pit stop I'd suggest here, Paul. So we'll see what these two drivers do. They are teammates. Can they save enough fuel? But how many times have we spoken about these Southern Stars Esports Racing guys with the fuel save, and how many times have they come up short?
Well, they have managed to do a fuel save before, but they have run out of fuel too, I think. So it's always a fuel game here with drivers, and not just in this league as well, even across the to the Australasian Supercar E Series that we broadcast on a Sunday night. That has been a fuel strategy game as well at times.
Yeah, it has, and it even come down to our race last night, Paul. That was all about fuel strategy and what we did last night as well. So a lot of these servers that people are putting up for the leagues and stuff, it's not as simple as just going out there and turning left. You really need to think about your fuel and how you're going to make it, because it might be all right for you to pit and to be able to go, I can do that extra pit stop and be able to run on fresh tyres, but I tell you what, 34 seconds is a long way to get back if you can keep out there in front and just fuel save a little bit and then go for the end. So we'll see how this plays out, but I can tell you what now, with Adam Malone, Darren McKenzie last through pit lane on lap 74 and 73 respectively, that's about 50 laps to the end, and I'm sure they are definitely not going to get to the end on 75% fuel. So Raymond Yeager at the moment sitting in the box seat. He has about 3 seconds over one hand Tom Pritchard in the 4th position. Brad Fenley in 5th, Norman Clark in 6th. So at the moment, Raymond Yeager sitting in the box seat of this one, but a lot to play out yet, Paul. And Pete Gretton, you're still here in the broadcast booth, mate. Don't be quiet, mate. Jump up and have a chat.
No, I'm here, mate. I'm still here. I've got everything set up now. So I was in a practice session before, but yeah, it looks like it's shaping up to be a good one. I think these front guys you just mentioned aren't going to make it to the end, Aidan. Do you think they're hoping for a yellow to get them through and do maybe a splash and dash and fight their way through the field? I'm not too sure, but I can see on the timing there that Yeager, he's running by himself by the look of that.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be hoping for a caution. I don't think there's going to be a caution here with such a small field for the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series. The reason we have a smaller field tonight too, Pete, I know you tune in later, is there was a bit of an issue with the server setup. So we actually went live about 45 minutes later than what we usually do. So that's why a little bit of a smaller field. So I don't think there will be a caution if these guys do run clean to the end. We have seen 2 cautions tonight, but Adam Malone, Darren McKenzie leading the way. I'd guarantee you they do need to come into pit lane. So Raymond Yeager there, that we were just on board with, Norman Clark we're on board with now as well. He's got Jamie Nankervis still going around, even albeit without the front of his car after getting caught up with the incident probably about 30 or 40 laps ago that saw the end of the night for Joshua Carroll Walden, who's now 53 laps down. So Jamie Nankervis has done his damage. He's sat there in the pits and listened to our rubbish here on the IndySim Esports Network for 40 minutes and come back out, and now he's still navigating his way around the circuit at the moment. So, like I said, Raymond Yeager currently in the box seat to win this one over Tom Pritchard. One hand sitting there in 4th. We'll see how that plays out. And my apologies, Raymond Yeager. Not Raymond Yeager, Tom Pritchard. I'm going to call you one hand for the rest of the year. But I tell you what, Pete, you'll have to be in on our broadcast, or not our broadcast, when we go live in a couple of weeks, and we do our IndySim Esports Network trivia, and we do our best of the IndySim Esports Network for the 2021 racing season. You'll have to do that one so they get to all see our ugly mugs here on the IndySim Esports Network. And you know what? Have a bit of fun here on a Friday night before we go into Christmas.
Oh, I tell you what, they can see my ugly mug. I'm shaving down for a good cause for the league that I broadcast for, and that's going to be broadcast up on the screens on Sunday night as well. But yeah, more than happy to jump in on webcam with you, that's for sure.
Well, I hope you got clothes on and you're only shaving your head.
We've gone there again. We're 97 into 134 and we're there again.
Only on Sundays, mate.
Only on Sundays. Well, I didn't know you grew that quick. It's like me on a Friday night. But anyway, we move right along.
I hope we're still talking about hair growing here.
I got no idea what we're talking about, but Adam Malone leading the way over Darren McKenzie, and this is the most inappropriate InterSim Esports Network broadcast we've ever brought you. And what a time for you to come in, Peter Gretton, straight up when we have just been laughing the whole time and being really inappropriate. So we do apologise.
No, don't apologise, mate. I'm going to get roasted for this. This is a game, mate. Although on the normal weeks where you do a great show, good broadcast, and you keep it relative and serious to a degree. But you let your hair down, mate, and have fun, because that's what it's all about. Friday night, that's the viewers are probably having a blast at home listening to you too. So don't apologise, mate. It's all about fun, mate. Just have a blast doing it.
Yeah, it was. We got thrown out a little bit with the difference of time, and we've had interruptions with children, interruptions with home life, different things happening. But we hope you're enjoying all the action here on the InterSim Esports Network. Nonetheless, we're 99 into 134. Not long to go. Good to see you back broadcasting, Pete. We know you had a week or two off. We haven't heard a lot from you lately, but good to see you back broadcasting. I was watching you do a broadcast, I think it might have been from Lime Rock or something like that the other day, and what a race that was. Good to see you broadcasting back on your broadcasting network at LR Esports. So everyone tuning in here on the InterSim Esports Network, jump across to LR Esports if you want to see all your supercar action or any other road action that LR Esports does broadcast. They do a sensational job, so make sure you jump across to them. They're LR Esports on Facebook, on YouTube. They do a great job, and especially coming into the silly season of supercars, there will be Bathurst 1000s. There will be a lot of different things across there outside of the oval realm, which Pete usually doesn't do. He definitely jumps in here and helps us, which we really love that. But jump across to LR Esports and give them a big like and a big follow across Facebook and YouTube, because they do a great job in what they do. And thank you so much to Pete for joining us in here on the broadcast here on the InterSim Esports Network, mate. And hopefully you have some good broadcast across there on LR Esports coming into the Christmas period. And what do you have coming up in the new year from LR Esports? Anything you want to announce here on the InterSim Esports Network? Anything you want the viewers to jump in and have a look at?
Well, at the moment, we're pretty much just broadcasting for the one league, so it's the Force Racing League. They're finishing up their GT3 E-Series, and that's on Thursday night, and the Supercars on Sunday night. And I've just picked up the top split strength of field on Monday night for the iRacing official V8 Supercar Series. So we're rounding up, I think, 2 rounds to go before the series ends, and then we'll kick back off in the new year once the new season starts on iRacing, and we'll hopefully continue that as SimSpeed does no longer cover it anymore. So it's it's good to get those guys broadcast, but it's everything's looking forward for us over there, mate. But cheers for the plug.
Yeah, no worries at all. But we got Darren McKenzie and Adam Malone into the pit as well. Raymond Yeager dropping back as we see Tay is coming out of pit lane again. So that's really interesting. I thought Raymond Yeager was going to be able to make it to the end. But One Hand's now taking the lead on my live timing. But really good for you there, though, Pete, to iRacing official top split, to be able to broadcast that, man. Like that is a really big coup for you and LR Esports to be able to do that. That's nothing to be sneezed at, and you do a good job at LR Esports. And I had the pleasure of, albeit very quickly, doing a little bit of stuff with you for the top 10 shootout of the Bathurst 1000 that you covered not so long ago. mate, to be able to do that and jump up and do iRacing official stuff through the iRacing platform, and to have LR Esports brought up into that platform, that's so good for you and your brand.
Definitely is, mate. And it's all about learning and getting better. There's points that I'm probably my worst critic, as the guys that I broadcast for say. But yeah, it's all about learning, getting better, and why not just jump in the deep end? And yeah, just massive shout out to the media guy at iRacing and Sammy Kay for giving me the permission to do it. It's all about just dropping myself in the deep end, mate, and having fun and learning the craft that we call commentary, because it's a hard job, isn't it? Paul's in the background pushing the buttons frantically, and we're talking a bit of what here tonight, but generally we take it somewhat seriously. But yeah, it's all about learning, and these guys that are out on track that you can see tonight, they race and take it pretty much as seriously as us, and they've got a probably a harder job than we do. I say we're sitting in the easy seat, so they deserve to have their races broadcast whenever the leagues can afford, I suppose, to get it out there. But yeah, it's definitely good, and these drivers deserve to have their races broadcast and their performances broadcast.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And these drivers, like I run, I sort of sit on the fence because I'm a driver as well, plus a commentator. And I'd like to say I completely agree with you, Peter. It's easy to sit back here as a broadcaster or a commentator right now, because I like to think when I commentate, it's like me sitting there with a couple of ginger beers with my friends on a Friday night or a Tuesday night or whatever night. And I just love motorsport, and I love talking about it, and I love being able to bring the content to the viewers. And it's something that doesn't seem hard to me. It's just like talking, I love the sound of my own voice, as everyone here on the IndyCar Esports Network's probably had enough of at the moment. But it's a lot easier where you have these drivers inside these virtual cars, and you see the likes of Jamie Nankervis there. He sat in pit lane for 40 minutes just trying to get his repairs done to get out there and try and accumulate some points. But these drivers, as much as we've been having a bit of fun tonight on this broadcast, but even in every broadcast we do, and we broadcast for 2.5 hours at a time, you got to remember these drivers are sitting there driving for 2.5 hours non-stop, constantly. So a lot harder for these drivers to do what we do up here in the broadcast booth. We love motorsport. We can talk about it all day. So for these drivers to be able to bring us the amazing content that you do see here on the IndyCar Esports Network, and then of course across your channel too on the LR Esports channel as well. If it wasn't for these drivers creating this amazing content for us to bring to the viewers, like, we'd have nothing to bring to them, or nothing to be able to laugh about or joke about and race about. So you're exactly right in what you said, Pete. It is all about the drivers, and it's definitely easier for us up here in the broadcast booth to be able to talk about it. And we hope we're doing it justice here on the IndyCar Esports Network. We've got some things to bring you here on the IndyCar Esports Network in the coming weeks, and some major announcements as we are 109 into 134 here. But Pete, Paul, we'll bring you back into the broadcast. You can't get away with it that easy, mate. You were laughing earlier, and you actually had to mute the channel because you were laughing that hard. But just because Pete's here, mate, you can't get away with it that easy, as Tom Pritchard's leading the way with Brad Fenley at the moment.
Well,
he stays muted, trying to run away.
Well, I try and just palm the job off to Pete when he's here, so I don't have to talk much. But no, I've been getting in the mix of things over the last few weeks, getting a bit more on the mic as well, and diving in there as Aiden needs a bit of a break as well.
Yeah, definitely, it's good. It's good to see that we can hear your voice week in, week out, mate. I tune in when I can, but I think two of our broadcasts fall on the same night, so it's a bit hard to watch each other's live. But yeah, definitely, I've been trying to keep up with it, and just I see the comment there. Thanks, Steve, for subscribing, mate. That's awesome. Share the love around. But look at this.
That's $5 to me. That's $5 to me, Steve. I'll take that. That's $5 to me. Sorry, Pete. That's off your subscription fees, even though you don't have any. But anyway, moving along.
I've never heard LR Esports been said on one broadcast in forever, I don't think. But that's all credit goes to you, and I like doing it. You know, and I like sharing your boys' channel around as well. But back to the racing, I think, mate. 111. 111.
Did I just have Mr. LR Esports tongue-tied? Did I just have LR Esports tongue-tied?
I'm always tongue-tied. What are you talking about?
Anyway, I'll let you bring this to the viewers with Paul for the next couple of laps. I'll let you guys commentate this for a couple of laps. I'll be back. I'll go get a drink of water. I'll let you bring all the action around Autoclub Speedway here on the Indesim Esports Network.
Yeah, cheers, Aiden. It's pretty good, and I'll try and get into it, Paul. So don't you dare mute your mic, as he has already, as I can see on my screen. We've got about 22 laps to go, and yeah, so we got Sammy K riding on board now. There we go. Thanks, mate. Sammy K is in 12th position, down 17 laps. You got Pritchard. He's leading. I think Aiden was calling him one hand. I think I'll leave that to Aiden to call him that. But I think, PJ, correct me if I'm wrong, Jaeger was the guy that could make it home on the pit strategy he was on.
Well, we haven't really worked out what a fuel run will do. I think we went about maybe 35 laps before the first caution, so I think that's doable to a tank. So the likelihood of Tom Pritchard and Brad Fenley in P1 and P2 making it home, I'm not sure if they're going to have enough fuel to do that. So we'll probably see them pitting again shortly, or hoping for a caution in the next sort of 10 laps as they get to the end of their tank. So Raymond Jaeger in P3 there, pitted on lap 101, and Darren McKenzie behind on 102. So they're both looking good there, along with Adam Malone, who pitted on 102 as well. So Michael Shaw in P5 will possibly have to pit again as well. So that just sort of rounds out how your finishing is probably going to look.
And the fact that you've got Pritchard just sticking behind Malone there, as you can see on screen, might be a fact that he is saving a little bit, but he definitely would be saving the fuel just sitting behind. Look at them just sitting probably in the middle of the track. And I think that Pritchard, he's a little bit quicker than him too. As you can see, he sticks the nose out. But I think that's all about fuel saving. And what have we got? 19 to go. I think I think you're dead right there, PJ. I think they're going to probably sort of finish where they are.
Yeah, so yeah, here's Tom making the pit stop now. So Tom coming into pit lane, and Brad Fenley will be pretty close behind, if not this time round as well. So that'll bump Raymond back to P1, Darren McKenzie P2, and we'll see Shorey making his pit stop shortly, and Adam Malone back to P3.
We got 6 on the lead lap. I think there's Clark and Marshall. I think most of the guys are still circulating around, albeit apart from, I think, Pat and Oliver, JCW and Spencer. And Campbell's just coming out of pits as well, but he's 44 laps down as we ride on board with Fenley. I think you said, PJ, that he'll be next in the pits.
Yeah, he won't be far behind, so I believe he pitted a lap earlier actually than Tom Pritchard, so he would have had less than the tank. So my guess is he's just going to run this dry and hope for a caution, which I don't see will happen, as I'm banking on this running green the whole way to the flag.
Well, I think everyone is 17 to go. They're only short laps as well, too, with the times. What are they doing? Their best time is about 40 seconds, I think, their lap times. So it's not going to take long at all for them to get this last 20 laps done. So you're probably looking at around about 15 minutes, I think, and we're going to be calling the checker flag.
Yep, not too sure if my mic was muted there or not. I think it might have been, but yeah, Brad Fenley there will be pitting shortly, as I did say, if anyone did hear me or not. So
I heard you, mate. It's all good.
Yeah. Well, the important people didn't hear me, possibly, but yeah, Raymond, Darren, and Malone, I dare say, will be our top three podiums as this will go to the finish line.
See Steve in comments there. Jaeger, McKenzie, Malone, and Clark for top four. That's his call. Clark's actually down one lap, so let's see if that plays out. Car number 9 of Clark, as we ride on board with our race leader. I think I don't know if we've done a lap. What if we go for a turn it up lap, PJ, and on one of these guys in a battle and see what it sounds like around this track?
Alrighty, well, let's go on board with Darren McKenzie there, who's trying to chase down Raymond Jaeger for P2.
Let's do it.
And I'm finally back, Peter and Paul, here on the Indersim Esports Network. I jumped back in. Sorry to throw you under the bus there, Pete.
No, that's fine. We'll just go and we'll just go on for a lap with McKenzie. He looked pretty smooth there too. He's obviously very quick in this series and all the oval series as well, mate. But that was a good lap from Darren McKenzie around this track. We've only got about 12 to go there, Aiden.
Yeah, we definitely do. And at the moment, it's still Brad Fenley out the front. He will have to blink into pit lane by the looks of it. He's going to try run it as long as he can, as Paul said, on this stint. As I said earlier, Raymond Jaeger in a really good spot at the moment, currently 6 seconds up the road from Darren McKenzie and Michael Shaw, who you just saw coming out of pit lane. Adam Malone sitting there in 5th place on... sorry, he was just running low. I thought he was coming out of pit lane, so he was just running low. So obviously Michael Shaw going through pit lane 91, he's trying to clutch to the end and trying to get to the end on his fuel strategy. So if he comes into pit lane now, his top 5 is done and dusted. So he's just trying to get to the end. So Raymond Jaeger at the moment in the good position, but it is Brad Fenley, the 59, leading the way, 123 into 124. This time across the strike, he will take lap 124 into 134. 10 laps to go. Can the 59 of Brad Fenley get to the end? He's got 11.9 seconds. Let's just call it 12 seconds, the better of Raymond Jaeger at the moment. So last lap through it was a 42.54 from Brad Fenley. Raymond Yeager, second position, was a 42.53. So Brad Fenley, he's not looking at his fuel at the moment. He's just trying to get this 59 car as far up the road as he can. So can he get it to the end? He was last through pit lane on lap 90. From looking at Raymond Yeager and Darren McKenzie in second and third place respectively, they came through pit lane on lap 101 and 102. So from what I can see with fuel numbers, Brad Fenley cannot get to the end, and I'd strongly suggest he'll be coming through pit lane any lap now. If he can get to the end, this is going to be an absolute miracle and a masterstroke by the 59er Brad Fenley. But I do not believe he can get there at the moment. He's got another 10 laps to go, and he's going to have to come to pit lane, and there it is right there. I knew from the numbers he'd have to, so that's going to put him into pit lane. But I tell you what, have a look at who's going to take over this one. It will be Raymond Yeager and Darren McKenzie will take over the first and second place here through the pit stop from Brad Fenley. Michael Shaw will jump into third position. Adam Malone in fifth at the moment. So let's have a look and see as the live timing comes through. Someone we haven't spoken about all night tonight though, Paul and Peter, is Michael Shaw. Lap 91 through pit lane, he is still saving fuel. But in saying that, Adam Malone, lap 102 through pit lane, he doesn't need to. So will he be able to get onto the back of the 07 of Michael Shaw? So this is the battle at the moment. So we've pretty much got P1 and 2 sewn up, and that will be Raymond Yeager and Darren McKenzie. Brad Fenley now has come out of pit lane behind Michael Shaw. So I thought Adam Malone would be the one to fight Michael Shaw. It will be Brad Fenley now. But that gap's now extending out to 4.4 seconds. We're 127 into 134. So does the 59 and the 4 of Brad Fenley and Adam Malone have anything for the 07 of Michael Shaw to take the final step on the podium here for the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series? Or will it be Norman Clark 31 seconds behind? Not sure what's happened to Norman Clark with his pit strategy. But I tell you what, Michael Shaw has had a good strategy here. But Raymond Yeager and Darren McKenzie at the moment leading the way as we go back to Norman Clark. He's got Jamie Nankervis, who is laps and laps and laps behind at the moment. But Jamie Nankervis has come out and keep cutting laps here around Autoclub Speedway. And he's moved. Shaw, he's gone into pit lane. Michael Shaw into pit lane, so he can't make it to the end. He tried to save fuel. He can't make it to the end. That's going to put Brad Fenley up in the third place. So, Brad Fenley, that was a good decision by Brad to run as hard as he could, as long as he could, because that's put him in a good position to get a third place here. He's currently got 2.7 seconds over Adam Malone. So it is Raymond Yeager and Darren McKenzie at the front of this one, over Brad Fenley and Adam Malone. Looks like that's the top three at the moment as Brad Fenley makes his way through 3 and 4 at Autoclub Speedway. This time across the strike, it's going to be 130 into 134 as Raymond Yeager makes his way through 3 and 4. But I feel like I've just jumped in and spoke too much, guys. So I'll let you jump in.
No, that's what you do in NASCAR, isn't it? You just take the ball and run with it, and that's exactly what Yeager's doing. He's run off. He's got nearly a 6-second lead as we ride on board with McKenzie. Although I think McKenzie might be getting into the draft of, I think that's an out of sync car. So if he gets behind there, I'm not too sure if he can make up 6 seconds in 4 laps. But I think you're looking at your podium there with Yeager. Oh, he's just flown past him. So I got that one wrong, didn't I? That's a heavily damaged car, that one. But so McKenzie, he is catching him, but I think he's going to run out of laps. So I think the top 3, top 4 that you see on screen, I think that's going to be your top 4, and I think that they're going to finish as they are.
Yeah, I think that's the top three definitely done at the moment. Adam Malone has 3.6 seconds back to get Brad Fenley. It'll be good to see Brad Fenley back on the podium. In saying that, two of the top three drivers at the moment, Raymond Yeager, who's leading the way, 131 into 134. He's up 16 spots. He started out of the 17th position. Darren McKenzie, he's up the 5 spots. He started out of 7th. Dropped back early, but come back. He knew what he was doing in this one. Brad Fenley started out of the 15th position, and he is up 12 spots into 3rd. So good to see a different mix of drivers. Raymond Yeager, one of the really good sim races that we see here, run with us week in, week out. But one of the first times we've seen him up the front here for the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series, and he'll be the first to admit he's not a big fan of these Next Gen cars, and he's 132 into 134, and he's about to take his first win because he's 5.2 seconds down the road from Darren McKenzie and Brad Fenley at the moment. So it'll be interesting to have a chat with Raymond at the end of this one. No doubt he'll be nice and modest as Raymond does, but early in this one, remember, Paul, he was about 6 seconds off the front group, and he dragged them up early, and he looked racy early. He wanted to make his way to the front, and he has not looked backwards since.
Yeah, for sure. And he did a good job of getting through that. I think there was a gap of about a 5 or 6 second gap from the lead pack to the pack that Raymond was leading the charge once he got through. And he's definitely been on it for the rest of the night. And as you said, he hasn't looked back. So Raymond's definitely been having a good drive tonight.
Yeah, so Tay-Tay's taken the white flag here for the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series as he makes his way through turns number 1 and 2 for the final time tonight. He'll make his way down the back stretch. He's only got 2 more corners to navigate here, and he will take the win for the next round of the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series. So it is the 23 Pinnacle Esports pilot, the Tay-Tay, the Redemption Tour, on the side of the car through turns 3 and 4 for the last time tonight. It will, Reputation, sorry, not Redemption. Reputation as the 23 of Raymond Yeager takes the win tonight for the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series. Second place will be Darren McKenzie. Brad Fenley will round out your top 3 there for another good podium from the 59 of Brad Fenley. Adam Malone will come home in P number 4. Norman Clark in P number 5. So Norman Clark come into this round leading the championship. He will come away from this round leading the championship once again, but Raymond Yeager will get some nice, good, solid points, as will Darren McKenzie and Brad Fenley. So we will go through very shortly. Let's just have a look at Raymond Yeager as he's about to come down the main straight of Autoclub Speedway. He's going to have a nice little celebration here in the Reputation 23 Tay-Tay entry of Raymond Yeager, as he does some nice little donuts there. So great job there by Raymond Yeager, ladies and gentlemen. As I said, Raymond Yeager, Darren McKenzie and Brad Fenley was your top 3. But, well, Raymond has his little celebration here, and before we bring all the drivers up here into the broadcast booth, let's go through the unofficial results here for what was the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series from Autoclub Speedway. It was Raymond Yeager coming away with the chocolates there on top over Darren McKenzie in second place. Brad Fenley in third place. Adam Malone finished in fourth place. Norman Clark rounding out your top 5. Michael Shaw came home in 6th. Maxie Marshall in 7th. Andy Barber in 8th. Brian Bullock in 9th. And Glenn Klein rounding out your 10. Tom Pritchard came home in 11th. Sam Katakuzanos, after a solid start there, came home in 12th. Jamie Nankervis in 13th. Brett Campbell 14th. Matt Payton 15th. Dave Oliver 16th. Joshua Carroll Walden in 17th. And rounding out your 18 cars tonight was Greg Spencer in the 18th position. So we'll just wait and see if we've got some drivers down into the green room at the moment and see if they're ready to... Yep. We'll bring the drivers up very shortly, ladies and gentlemen. Just bear with us for 1 second as we bring the drivers up here into the broadcast booth. So we'll be with you very shortly. Oh, hang on. Just got people changing channels. And we'll just go and find Brad Fenley really quickly if he's up there, and we'll move him into the broadcast booth if we can find him.
I choose name.
Well, and we have got them all up into the... Well, actually, no, we had him. Hang on. We'll move him back up. All right, we've got all the top three into the broadcast booth at the moment. And we'll start up with your third place getter tonight. I know, Brad, we spoke a couple of weeks earlier and you were hoping to get up in the broadcast booth again. It was a night that was a little bit delayed and not the usual time, but you come home with a P3 tonight. You've got to be happy with that.
Yeah, sure. I'm happy. First run, I just seemed to get off the back of the pack, and I just, it was all pretty ordinary and a bit depressing. And then, there was the caution obviously brought me right back into it, and then seemed to be all good from there. I haven't even seen the caution yet. It was obviously a pretty good one, was it?
Yeah, the caution was pretty decent early on, but then it was pretty much green flag to the end. So, like I said before, mate, second time up into the broadcast booth. Got to be happy with that one, mate. Big shout out to sponsors and everyone involved for your P3 tonight.
Yeah, mate. Got to thank my dad out there. I know he's watching. G'day, Dad. I hope you're proud of me. And thank VB, of course. We'll be going to crack a coldie. I reckon I've earned it for this P3. And good on Darren and Raymond. Well done, boys.
No worries. Congratulations so much, Brad. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Third place getter tonight here for the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series. It was Brad Fenley in the 59. Second position tonight, Darren McKenzie. Dazza, mate, sat off the back early with Raymond in that second group. You slowly dragged your way up, and it was obviously a game of strategy. Not a big field tonight, not much time to practice, but I'm sure nonetheless you're happy with the P2 tonight.
Yeah, howdy. Yeah, definitely happy with P2. I fell off the back of that lead pack, and once you're out of the draft, you just can't catch back up. So I was waiting for them to catch me up behind with Raymond and my teammates, and I was able to tack on the back of them, and we made a good run to catch the lead pack, and from there it just worked out well, except for a little mistake towards the end there. There's a few problems in the pits, so we lost a bit of time, and I think when the back markers checked us up, we lost about 2 seconds to Raymond on track because of that as well. So it wasn't all perfect, but it ended well for me.
Well, we saw what happened with Andy Barber, and that was really unfortunate because Andy had something tonight, and even more so Tom Pritchard. We called him one hand tonight, and I'm sure you'll understand what that little joke is, but Tom Pritchard, he was up there most of the night tonight, and he ended up finishing 3 laps down, so he didn't have the end of the race to what he wanted. And we did say earlier on the broadcast, that was your best opportunity to get a Southern Stars Esports 1, 2, 3.
Early on, I think we when we chose to split strategies, Tom followed Raymond in, and myself and Adam stayed out, and Andy as well. So we'd split the strategies there. So it was definitely going to hopefully end well for one of us, or a few of us at least. But then, I think there's a bit of bad luck Adam and Andy got caught up, and I'm not exactly sure what happened to Tom at the end there. I think he was getting distracted because he was having to leave for work or something.
Okay. Well, that explains it. But, mate, good result tonight. Another nice, solid podium position for the 02 Southern Stars Esports racing outfit, Darren McKenzie, obviously. So, big shout out to everyone involved for your P2 tonight.
Yeah, thanks. Well, definitely you guys for broadcasting. Shuri for putting on the races. It was a bit of a hassle tonight, but he persevered and he got us the race in the end. Team sponsors, Mish's XL Garage, Skypoint, and Tiona Holiday Park. I always forget that one.
You're right, mate. Go back and watch the broadcast and you'll have a laugh at how much we forgot and what we went on about tonight, because we were literally thrown a curveball. We were 45 minutes late into the broadcast compared to what we used to. Then we had our own personal life and everything going on in the background. So we do apologise about that, but congratulations once again on your P2 tonight, mate. We look forward to seeing you here in the broadcast booth next week, hopefully for what will be another podium for the Southern Stars Esports Racing 02.
Yeah, hopefully I'm up there with a chance on the season standings, so I've got to keep it up.
No worries. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. The second place getter tonight, the 02 Southern Stars Esports Racing outfit, the 02 of Darren McKenzie. That moves us straight across to the Reputation, the Tay-Tay, the Razor, the Jaeger, the 23, Raymond Jaeger. Solid win tonight, mate. Well done.
Yeah, pretty happy with that. Second race in this next-gen car, so 2 podiums and one of them being a win. Can't complain about that.
And I told everyone on the broadcast that you would be really, really quiet. Like you wouldn't be anything because you're not a big fan of the next gen car. I know that. You'd be, what's the word for it? I can't even remember the word. But yeah, you'd be. Well, no, I didn't say you'd be slow. Don't say that, right? Don't say that. No, you'd be really modest, like with how your run would be tonight. I know you've said you're not a fan of the next-gen car with the current model. But you come into this, you started right off the back. You hardly even qualified and then made your way to the front. You made some solid moves there through the mid to late part of that first green flag stint, and then you pretty much didn't look backwards. You just kept going.
Yeah, so I wasn't even going to get in the race, and then because there were some delays and whatnot with the server, I managed to get in, so I didn't qualify. Started at the back. By the time I got through to sort of the back of the top 10, I think it was, there's a pretty big gap through to the top 8 or 9. So it was a bit of hard work there, focusing, getting pushed by the Southern Star guys. We ended up getting back to them. Once I got into the group again, I just decided I was going to just try and get to the lead. I didn't know what it was going to be like to pass and things like that, so I just thought I'd give it a crack. And it was really, really difficult. Once you sort of got out by yourself, you just drop back like a stone. So, yeah. But like I said, sort of got through that early part, and yeah, it was sort of smooth sailing from there.
Yeah, well, you did a great job, mate. For someone that didn't really like next gen, you were like completely gone compared to everyone. But mate, you now got to refocus your attention to Sunday night, to the Ray White Rural Gander Australasian Supercar E-Series. Sunday morning, obviously, for the Open Truck Series that you run. A lot of other things to look forward to for the 23 Pinnacle Esports Racing entry, but big shout out to everyone for your P1 tonight, because that's what it's all about.
Yeah, obviously focus switches to the V8s. I won't run the open trucks anymore since my season is now done. But yeah, the V8s at Homestead Road is going to be interesting. But yeah, tonight, obviously thank the Pinnacle Esports Racing boys, Matt Patton, Nigel Patton, Justin Witcher, Greg Spencer, and obviously our team sponsors. We've got a few: 186, Speech and Language Development Australia, CarWorks, Witcher Electrics, and the Sim Racing Edge, who provide our setups. So yeah, without all of those guys, it would be a bit more difficult than it is. But yeah, we'll see you guys on Sunday. Thanks again, obviously, to you guys for broadcasting, and Shorey and the Full Throttle guys for putting on the race.
No worries at all. We look forward to chatting to you on Sunday night. But for now, there's your winner of the next round of the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series. It was the 23 Pinnacle Esports pilot of Raymond Yeager. That brings to you the end of the Autoclub Speedway round of the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series. But I tell you what, it does not stop all here on the InterSim Esports Network. Do not tune away. Tune in to our Facebook and YouTube channels. Make sure you do not miss all the action because we go live on Sunday night for the next round of the Ray White Rural Gander Australasian Supercar E-Series. It will be from Homestead, Miami, but it will be for the road course. So be sure to tune in here on the InterSim Esports Network. We will go live from 7:15 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, 8:15 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time, wherever you may be. Then be sure to tune in again next Tuesday night for what will be the final round of the Blendline TV Pro Car GTE Championship. We will be from Bathurst, so one of the most famous locations here in Australia in the real world. Then we bring it across to the sim world. So be sure to tune into us here on the InterSim Esports Network next Tuesday night from 7:15 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, 8:15 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time, wherever you may be. Then be sure to join in and tune in to us again on next Friday night for what will be the next round of the Full Throttle Sim Racing League's NASCAR Next Gen Series. Our location will be the Nashville Super Speedway. So we will go live once again, from 7:15 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, 8:15 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time, wherever you may be. But from myself, Peter Gretton joining into the booth again for the first time tonight for quite a long time. We do thank you for tuning in here on the InterSim Esports Network. We look forward to seeing you once again on Sunday night for the Ray White Rural Gander Australasian Supercar E-Series, again for the Blendline TV Pro Car GTE Championship on Tuesday night, and then once again next Friday night for the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series from simrigs.com. So we thank you so much for tuning in here on the InterSim Esports Network. We wish you a good night, and we will talk to you on Sunday.